Jordan, thanks for that introduction. I'm excited to be on here tonight. I've been in an all-day event. We had our kids up since 5 o'clock in the morning. My kids won 5 medals today. They had a tumbling tournament, so I'm excited to be back for this call. What I really want to talk about and concentrate on is really how to build a massive business. Because, look, we're in a business where for the first time in my career, I've been doing this now for 18 years. In fact, going into my 19th year now, where I really haven't seen something where the product actually makes you money. So it's actually different than what I've done in the past as far as how you build the business, because we have a product that makes you money. For those who don't really know my story, I got involved at 19, like Jordan mentioned, and I did not have a very good start. In fact, my first meeting, nobody actually showed up. I had 7 commitments. Nobody showed up. I told my brother I wanted to quit. And in fact, it took me 2 meetings to join, because the first one, I told my brother I wasn't interested. The second meeting, another guy spoke, and I got signed up. I was really excited. That's why the messenger, not the message, is very important as far as who you're dealing with. And so second one, and then the same thing for the meeting. The first one, nobody showed up. The second one, 7 did. I ended up going to a convention. This is why I talk about, like, for the Vegas convention, it's very important for you guys to understand that you need to be there in one way or another. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It looked like it was quitting. But in one way or another, we need to find a way to get to these events. And so what I tell people is, when I went to that event, the event is actually what changed my life, because when I came back from that, I ended up having 1,000 people on my team in 6 months in a program that cost $500 to join back then. Okay, 1,000, and this was like the old word of mouth by itself. I mean, the internet was kind of just getting going with stuff, and it was much harder back then than it is right now, as you guys have it here today. And so that's kind of a little bit of background on really how I got started. I got started slow. I did not have success from the beginning. I want you guys to understand that, because the reality is that, you know, I did not come in this thing and immediately right off the bat start crushing it. I didn't. I mean, let's be real. I was like most everybody else. You know, I came in and I didn't see success from the beginning. But the key is that I was persistent. So I'm going to share some things with you guys tonight that I hope will really make a difference for you in building this in 2018, because we truly have something powerful in front of us. Number one, I tell people all the time, you got to have a why. You got to have a why, but you got to review it every single day. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but the bottom line is if you don't have a why, if you don't have a goal, forget it. You guys, I promise you will not reach your goals this year. And you're like, Brandon, that sounds kind of negative. You're like the incurable optimist. No, I'm positive you will not reach your goals this year. You got to have a why. You got to have a goal. You got to have something that pulls you every day to get yourself up to do this day after day after day, so that you can live the good life. All right. Number 2, personal development. It's not an option. If you're not doing a minimum of 15 minutes a day of personal development, forget it. You're not going to hit your goals, because nobody wakes up every day that's successful that aimlessly goes at every day hoping to hit the top of success. It's not going to happen. You've got to work on your mindset. Okay. So that's the second thing. So the why, the personal development, that's going to keep you going, because there's going to be days where you're like, you know what, I just don't feel like doing this. I've been working all day. I've been going to school, got a family, and that kind of stuff. That's natural. And that's why personal development is absolutely key. Now, here's what I want to teach you tonight. And this is probably going to be the first time that you've heard this, especially from me, because I think that these few principles that I'm about to teach you are really going to make a difference for you in 2018, and hopefully will actually help you build a bigger business than you've ever built in your career. Because look, the reality is this: a lot of people think that massive success is, you know, achieved by this home run swing, right? You know, if I can land that big whale, you know, if I can get that one huge account, I got this big guy I'm working on from such and such company. You know, if I can recruit a few big leaders, I'm going to be set for life, you know. But the reality is that's not how it works, you know. And here's what I have to say about those big deals. Big deal. You know, I don't even like to hear about those big deals. In fact, I was on with a guy tonight who was telling me about the big deal. And I bet you he's going to be working on that big deal for the next 6 to 8 months, and in the process, not even be a platinum 150. So the reality is we move forward regardless of the big deals, okay? It has been proven for several decades that the big deal is putting together tons of small deals, brick by brick, okay? You're going to build a massive organization one block at a time. You know, because I had a fitness background, you know, a lot of people talk about the 7 apples on Sunday method to being healthy. That doesn't work. An apple a day. An apple a day. That's like me doing all my workouts in one day so I can skip the rest of the week. The premise, guys, is to be consistent. It's to be consistent. You know, myself and Jason Brown, we're always talking about laser focus and consistency. So I have not been able to teach some of you some of the lessons I actually learned from the first mentor that I had who was making over $1 million a month. Think about it, guys. This is back in the late 90s. $1 million a month. That is a lot of money. And it was much tougher back then to make that kind of money than it is right now. And so I want to teach you a few things because what he taught me was this principle, this success formula of really going out and exposing a few people per day. So for example, the first component of this success formula, and I want you guys to write this down, is 2 a day. 2 a day. Like 2, the letter A, and then day. 2 a day. What this means is that you're going to get 2 people a day to check out a presentation of some sort. I don't care if it's What is IML, a video, you're sitting down with them in person, a live event, a webinar. 2 people a day. Now, one of the things that I want to cover real quick as I continue is sometimes people are like, well, I can't show anybody the business until I get all my results I need on the product. Fine. If that's the way you feel, that's completely okay. I think it's a big mistake because you'll never build a big organization with that kind of thinking because then your people are going to do the same. Their people are going to see it, and they're all going to be waiting 3 months at a time, right? The good news is this. IML has tools to help make this possible for you guys, even the spare timers. Okay, who don't have the ability, like me, to sit down with someone for a 1 to 2 hour sit down on a daily basis. I can do that all day. Okay, we got tools. And so anybody can hand out 2 tools a day, meaning a link. You know, they can literally go home, they can watch it in their car. You know, you text it to them, you get them to jump on a webinar, you get them on something, a live event or something, 2 people a day. I don't care what way that you're doing it. The key is to expose 2 people a day to iMarkets Live. Okay? So here's the thing. I don't care if you're going to meet them at the gas station, if they're sitting next to them on a plane, if they're serving food at a restaurant, driving Uber. Look, I've recruited, as of last year, 7 Uber drivers. In fact, they were Lyft drivers. All right? So here's the key, though. Will you is the question. And this is going to be determined whether or not you got the willpower, and your will is determined by how motivating your why is. That's why I talked about the why is the most important thing. Your will is determined by how motivating your why is. Think about it. If your life depended on getting 2 new exposures every day, I guarantee that you'd have it done by 9 a.m. You don't eat unless you have those exposures done, right? But because most people that come into this business and in this industry, they don't place near that level of priority on their business because they treat it like a hobby. They go to bed every single night without even exposing 2 people. And then they wonder why their checks are the way they are. This means that they don't see their business success as a clear priority. So you've got to choose to succeed. So let's decide, though, tonight, because we're still at the beginning of 2018, let's decide that you really want to succeed, that you're willing to commit to doing what's necessary to win big. If you are, I want you to put win big in the chat box in front of you. If you want to win big, all right, do you really want to win? I want you to put it in the chat box. What is the game plan with these exposures? Are you willing to commit to doing 2 exposures a day? Because, guys, it's totally doable from a time commitment. Okay? Because look, most of you guys are part-timers, and that's okay. All right? So here's the thing. I want to break it down for you guys, and I'll show you a chart, okay, when this is done. But the key is I want you to convert others to copying you. For example, and I talked about this the other night at one of our Utah meetings. What if you have 5 recruits doing the same thing, 2 a day, and then they duplicate that, and each recruit of 5 is doing that. So you got 5 times 2 is 10, okay? So for example, you got yourself, you're doing 2 a day. That means you're exposing 60 recruits a month. Now, you're not going to sign them all up. I'm going to take worst case scenario. Let's say that you're absolutely terrible, all right? 5%, 95% say no, which I don't think with IML that's the case. But 5%, that's 3 new recruits a month out of 60, okay? You now take those 5 new recruits. They're each exposing 2. That's 10 a day, 12 exposures a day, okay? 360 a month times 5% saying yes, that's 18 new recruits on a monthly basis. Now you got 25 times 2 exposures a day. Remember, all we're talking about is 2. 2, that's 50. 50. Now you got 62 exposures a day. 1,860 a month times 5%. That's 93 new people joining your business every day. Now you got 125 recruits, 2 exposures a day, 250, 312 exposures a day is 9,300 times 5%. Remember, 5% saying yes. You had 468 people join that month. And then the last example, 625 times 2, that's 1,250. 1,564 exposures a day. That's 46,000 exposures. It's actually 46,860 to be exact if you want the exact numbers. Times 5%, that's 2,300 recruits a month. Now think about it. Your 2 a day isn't directly the key. The key is this. It's the hundreds of people who will eventually copy you that are going to make you millions. This is how I've made the millions in this industry. So that is why your example is so important. If you're not doing 2 a day consistently, no one else on your team's going to do it. You are the one on your team who's got to do it. Your team is watching and they're copying you. You're the key. So let's say that you do what I'm describing, all right? And let's say that you get this duplication going. You're seeing 2,300 recruits a month joining your team. Congratulations, all right? If you stop doing your 2 a day, your team's going to notice the momentum change. It's going to erode from the top down. What happened to Jordan? Jordan saw that before Christmas. Man, he went out and he got 30 people quick. And it's not like he said all is well in Zion, but he's kind of like, hey, man, I got my guys now, and let's go, and I'm going to do some trading. And next thing you know, his volume went down. What do? He went back out there and hustled again. Boom, the volume went back up again, okay? Your leaders will end up stopping like you stopped. And then the leaders that follow them, they're going to stop as well. And soon enough, all your recruiting is going to be slashed in half. So it's important to continue to lead by example. Guys, I signed up 18 people this week. I signed up 4 people today, and I was at my kids' tournament all day, all right? You got to set the example, okay? Even if you think that nobody's watching, they are, okay? The unseen forces of the universe are sharing your truth. Let's be real, all right? Now, let me just warn you, and let me be honest with you. You're going to get frustrated without a doubt. You're going to commit to doing 2 a day. You're going to expect your recruits to copy you, and guess what? They won't. In fact, at least 9 out of 10 won't. You're like, hold on a second. How can you say that? 9 out of 10? So you're going to be tempted to stop doing those yourself. But here's the key. You are not looking for the 9 out of 10. You're looking for the 1 out of 10 who's going to lock arms with you and do it, because the other 9 are not motivated. They lack the self-discipline. They're not doing personal development. They're not working on their why. They're not reviewing it, right? You've got to lead by example. You've got to work with the willing. Okay, you've got to work with the willing. You've got to make it to the top of the mountain, and you're only going to make it there if you keep on focusing on the inactive people. You're not going to make it, okay? You got to climb with the climbers. For goodness freaking sakes, climb with the climbers. I think even on the trading too, climb with the climbers. If 1 out of 10 recruits end up being the core player doing the two-a-days, then your model will be like 5 out of 50, 25 out of 250, 125 out of 1250, and 625 out of 6250. Great. Here's the power of the 10 percenters. Let's say that 10% of all the recruits are going to do the work. That's the reality. I don't care what the ratio is. Just tell the truth. That's the truth. It's always been that way. It's not going to, okay, maybe you get 2 out of 10. But reality is what I've witnessed is 9 out of 10 people, they don't do jack squat. But let me convince you that it's totally worth the effort, and it's an incredible business model, all right? Because I make my check today if the majority don't do squat. So if you have to recruit 250 people to find 25 active players on your team, and if they're doing 2 days along with you and your first 5 recruits, that's 62 exposures a day, 1,860 a month. So if you recruit just 5% of those, that's 93 recruits a month. So now let's say in our compensation plan, you got to save 93 recruits a month. What's that in ours? Oh, that's over Platinum 2000. So ask yourself the question, was it worth a year of residual income getting to that point? You bet your bottom line that it is. Your bottom dollar. And then here's what happens. Those 25, they recruit enough to get 5 players by the end of the next year. You can see that the magic of those numbers, it's like the penny doubled every day for 30 days, guys, is $10.8 million. $10.8 million. So ask yourself the question, would you agree that if this is the growth progression of your network marketing business here at IML for 30 months, like the penny doubled every day for 30 days, after 6 months, you would have only earned 64 cents. That's like the penny doubled every day for 31 days or 30 days. You'd quit the business. You know why? Because very few people have the vision to actually stick with it. In fact, one of my mentors, he said his first 2 years in Amway made $1.37. Think about that, $1.37. Year 3, $100,000 a month. What if he'd quit after month 2 or year 2? But that's all that's required in this business model, is a little bit of activity. A lot of people doing a little bit of activity. So the results are going to kick in further down the line. Even 12 months in, making $40, that wouldn't be very exciting. But think about it. Kind of like the penny. It starts doubling. It turns into hundreds of thousands, then millions. So you've always got to keep that vision in mind, which, by the way, guys, I'm not saying after a year you make $40. Our compensation plan is much better than that. You need to be convinced that you have a model to build on. And how are you going to do that? As a leader, you got to recognize that everyone is doing the 2-a-days. You got to make these people heroes. You got to shine the spotlight on them, okay? I got to put this on social media. I got to let my team know, hey, look, I'm holding myself accountable. I'm doing 2 exposures a day. Heck, I'm doing 2, 3, 4 signups a day. Forget the exposures, but you got to start with exposures to get the signups, all right? Here's the thing. The team who's doing this activity, the results are going to come, okay? You guys can do contests. You can see how long people are kind of keeping their daily streak. I don't care what it is, a little chart that you guys keep, all right? We can have celebrations and all that kind of stuff. Don't talk about doing 10 to 20 a day. Forget it. You haven't even done 5. But if you go full time and you're doing that many, great. But don't talk about it to your team, because that's going to make the business seem overwhelming to the majority, because majority of people are part-timers, okay? Remember, the magic is this. When you get a large group of people doing a few little things consistently over an extended period of time with a great attitude, by the way, great things are going to happen for you. Everybody can do 2 a day. So focus on getting the people to do that. Never lose the focus, because that compound effect is going to kick in. You got to train on it. You got to dwell on it. You got to have your success stories, give credit, and then you recognize everyone who's actually doing it. Because, again, we don't recognize results. We recognize activities. And through those activities, the results are going to come. So you've got to develop a 2-a-day team culture and become fanatical about it. Guys, it all starts with you, and I'm going to point it at you, because you are who determines your success, not Chris Terry, not Jordan Comsa, not Kenny Britt, not Jason Brown, not me. You determine your success. Don't worry right now about your team. and about what they're doing or not doing. You got to focus on yourself. You go and do 30 days of two-a-days, and then you can point to yourself as an example for others to follow. If you won't do it, just hang it up. Give up on the idea of making it big and having a team of 10,000 people. It's not going to happen because of you, not because you're in the wrong business. You got to look in the mirror and decide that your why is really worth the simple daily discipline of two-a-days. Because look, so much of you've got to become so fanatical about this in 2018 that people are going to start talking trash about you. And that's when you know that you're on the right path to millions. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have critics. You're going to have haters. You're going to have people that say, like with Jordan Combs, why are you going and getting that car? And Kenny's taking pictures of his car. Broke people are going to start coming against you. But there's no freaking excuses. You got to let this be your story. Doing 2 exposures a day is going to seem like a nuisance. But you have a day go by and you didn't exercise that discipline, you get your 2 done anyway. I don't care. You don't get on the phone, get in your car, go to the gas station, meet 2 new people. If you don't do that, you're going to break the rhythm. Got to let yourself not go off the hook. Okay? You let your goals down. You're going to let your team down. You're going to feel maybe even a little guilty. And if you convince yourself that that's okay, the next day you miss, you literally are going to quit, because it's very tough to get that habit back. We got to be consistent. Okay? You guys got to become sold on this idea, because these are the things that I've done, all right, to make it big in this industry. These are the things I've done. If you want uncommon results, you got to not do what the masses are doing, because they're not determined and focused. What they want to do is they want you to become unfocused and stop making them look bad. They're like, when the crabs are going out and the one crab pulls the other down back into the water. I can assure you that when you set a goal that is as powerful as what I'm talking about, and as easy to do as the two-a-days, that the weeks and months that go by and you're staying on point, you're going to feel a sense of pride like you never felt before in business. You're going to know in your gut that you're on your way passing 90% of the crowd and headed to the top of the company. Your goal should be to be in the 1%, at least in the top 10% in the company. And you can do that through doing two-a-days. Because it may seem like it's not going to make much of a difference in the first few weeks and even months. But trust me, those seeds that you're planting are germinating below the soil. If you stick around long enough and they get enough rain, you're going to see the trees start sprouting up. Okay? You just not got to get bored of that two-a-day process. It seems so little. So you're absolutely going to have days where you're tempted to even stop, and don't allow this. What I suggest is that you guys create a dream board with pictures of your why, and you literally write across the top, two-a-day, I will until. I can, I will, I must. Write two-a-day, I will until. I will. They are likely the 90%er, and you want to be the 10%er, and soon you guys are going to become. You may not want to use certain people as an example that made it to the top because their discipline is stopped. So it's super important that you get the best advice from the best source that you know to get you guys the best absolute results. So here's the thing, two-a-day, I will until. My why is worth it. Nothing's going to knock me off course, and I'm going to absolutely say no to any distractions, guys, that get in my way. I'm going to say no to the distractions of social media all day. Use social media. Look, there's people on this call right now who are absolutely without a shadow going chairman, period. They're going chairman. They're not only going chairman, they're going chairman 25, they're going chairman 50, chairman 100, chairman 250, and beyond. They're going to do it. Like you guys, this year, you're going to make it. You're thinking, man, right now I'm only making a couple $100 a month. I'm telling you, by December of this year, you're going to have commas in your checks. You guys are going to have commas in your checks because you took information like this and you took massive action. I love you guys. I'm grateful for you. I'm so grateful to be in business with you and to be partnered with you. And with that, Jordan, I'll go ahead and turn it back to you. I'm going to go ahead and make you the host, and
Cool.
you'll be able to get it closed out here.
Excellent. Brandon, that was phenomenal. I'm super pumped right now. I'm going to go do my 30th contact today. Guys, here's one thing that I have to say with the two-a-days. If you're going to be doing 2 exposures every single day, make sure you track your business and follow up with these people. Follow up with them, get them to meetings, get them on the phone with me, with Brandon, with Kenny, with your leaders, and start helping these people learn to do the same thing. You duplicate this, and you're going to be successful. I've been doing this 2 or 3 months now. I've already hit Platinum 2000. I can promise you that I'm going to hit Chairman 10 by March, and every single person on this call can do the exact same thing if you just work. That's it. Be consistent. Instead of doing an hour of Netflix at night, do an hour of contacting your people, 2 people, and then follow up with the other ones. Get them to meetings, get them on the phone, and this is how you're going to be able to make a lot of money in this industry. All right, I'm going to close this out. Brandon, you've got the recording. I love it. We're going to share this recording as well. Share this with your people. Share this with your leaders. And the month of January is going to be ending here in the next 17 or so days, but it's time to take action because 2018 is going to be over before you know it. Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
Have a good night, guys.